Before we hop into QA, there are a few more settings that we want to make sure are good to go on our website on the designer side, and that is our accessibility settings and our SEO settings. Now, with both SEO and accessibility, there are different kind of links you can go to make sure it's at the top tier of accessibility standards or the top tier of SEO standards. So I'm going to give you guys kind of the base of what I do for my websites. So for accessibility, you get some built-in checkers audits with Webflow, and you can find those up here in the Publish tab and issues to improve on this page. And the main thing this will let you know is if there is any alt text and a few other technical SEO pieces of the puzzle. So if I click on this, you can see an audit panel come up here to the left, and you can see that we are missing alt text for a bunch of different images. If I click on it, you can see exactly which ones it is, and I don't think I've added alt text to pretty much anything in this project yet, because I usually like to add it at the end just in case we switch out photos, that kind of thing. So I'm going to click Find It For Me, and it'll bring you right to the exact image that's missing the alt text. So this is really helpful if you can't quite figure out which ones it is. So I'll call this, I'll use alt text here to describe what's in the picture. I'll call this the Blitz daily interface with headshots of members surrounding it. And you usually want to make this fairly detailed, but not too detailed. There are plenty of really great articles on how to write alt text. In these kinds, I would just put, the Ipsum logo fake in here as well. And I would go through and add every single one of these, and you can see just as I've been changing those, the issues have gone down. So I would go in and add all of the alt text for these, which I will do here in a minute. The other one I wanted to point out is non-descriptive link content, which is a specific one for links that don't have a text inside of them. So if I hop down here in the footer, you can see that this is the one that is causing it, and it's causing it because this isn't actually text. It is an SVG. This is just saying Blitz in an image, but there's no text defining what it is. So somebody using a screen reader doesn't know what this says. What I would do here instead is I would make sure I have the link selected. I would go into settings, custom attributes, and I'm going to add in something called an ARIA label. So we'll put an ARIA label and a value of, I think we would do this as Blitz logo, Blitz go home, because this will link home, Blitz home. And now we have descriptive link content because it'll read it out, and you can see that that issue is gone. One caveat about this, I just now realized that that error doesn't show up if it's in a component. For example, let me add in the footer here down at the bottom. If I go in here to this, it doesn't actually have the attribute. So just something to be aware of so that you don't miss it is non-descriptive links inside of components. So this one will have an ARIA label of Blitz home. So even though if I go to the audit panel, I'm not seeing any for non-descriptive checks, if I go up to the hero section, I know I didn't add it up here either. So we'll go ahead and add that in too. Perfect. So we have those accessibility settings in. I would also recommend running your website through a service like Google Lighthouse. When I ran this through Lighthouse, it told me some of my background and foreground color settings were not quite up to contrast ratio standard. So I'm going to go in and make sure that they are. Everything in here also provides really great tools for adjusting, making sure that you're compliant. So I would definitely recommend checking this out. This is also really great for just page optimization speed. One thing I found out in here is that the image that is in our hero is lazy loaded, which basically just means it doesn't load till you're on the page, but we do want that image to load eagerly. How I would change that in here is click in this, type, and change to eager loads with page. So I think we could do that. We wouldn't want to do auto. We would probably want to do eager. Yeah. Anyway, that is our kind of accessibility audit check there. Another thing I wanted to go over was SEO settings. If you remember in our page settings, there's a little gear icon here. We have our title tag and meta description. So you get big bonus points if you fill those out. I'll just call this Blitz is the ultimate remote collaboration tool. And as for a meta description, I would probably write something different. This is what shows up when you Google it. If it wasn't clear from the search result preview, that is what the title tag and meta description is. You're going to want to add it on about every page if you can. And I usually just like to use ChatGPT to generate some just copy to start with, and then kind of work from there on what's going to be the best title tag and meta description to have here. Another important piece here is the open graph. I would just check this as same as SEO and title tag. Open graph is if you're copying this link into maybe a chat or a Twitter, it's kind of what's going to show up in that preview. And the open graph image is the image that's going to show in that preview as well. So to add that in, I'm going to click save and actually upload it into our settings here, into our assets. So we'll upload it into our assets here. I'm going to click the gear icon and click the copy link. If I go back to our home and I scroll on down to open graph URL, I'm going to set that in here, and you can see that we now have a open graph image, which is awesome. So I'm going to click save, and that is kind of the main SEO settings. If you look deeper in here, you can see things like your site search settings, your sitemap indexing. A lot of that is set by default for you. And overall, as far as SEO, this is kind of the most settings that we have within Webflow itself, besides obviously just writing really good copy and making sure our site speed is really great. If you're in Page Insights as well, there is a whole section on SEO. So we can see here that we needed to add a meta description, and we also aren't able to index it right now since it's a fake site. So you'll get a list of that as well with Page Speed Insights. So that is about it for our accessibility settings, for our SEO optimization. I'm going to go in and add the rest of the alt text and check that contrast ratio.
If you found this video useful and want to learn more, be sure to check out our complete guide to Webflow tutorial. It provides comprehensive tutorials and expert guidance to help you build professional grade websites, and also has courses on other no-code tools. And if you haven't done so already, or if you're new here, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, share it with a friend, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.